Hello, good morning, afternoon, everyone. Welcome to my channel. There comes a moment in every life when the world says stop, but your heart whispers go. When everything around you says it's over, but something inside you won't let you quit. That voice, that fire, that's you, the real you, the fighter, the survivor, the dreamer who refuses to die quiet. This isn't just another speech. This is a battle cry for those who've been knocked down and still find the strength to rise. It's for the ones who've heard you can't and decided to show the world they can. This is your moment, your reminder that failure isn't the end, it's fuel. That pain doesn't stop purpose, it sharpens it. And that no matter how dark it gets, you will rise. You will fight. You will never give up. You've heard it before. Never give up, but right now. You're aching, exhausted, fractured by failures, setbacks, and the weight of expectations. And you're asking, what if I really can't? What if this is the end? But I'm here to remind you, there's still a fire inside you, a spark from the moment you began this journey. Too bright to be extinguished. That spark is your why. The reason you started, the passion that pushed you to begin in the first place. The origin of the spark, remember that moment. The first step, the fever for change, the dream you whispered to yourself when no one was watching. That spark was not random. It came from purpose. It came from a calling you didn't yet understand. That voice belongs to the real you, the one who believes in something bigger than pain. When obstacles came, when rejection happened, you felt them, but you also remembered why. That spark grew in your wounded places. It wasn't easy to keep lit, but you did. That's courage. That's resilience. That's you. What happens when the fire fades? Use life buries our spark. The grind dims our glow. Exhaustion silences our spark's voice. Sometimes, the flames feel pathetic, a flicker in the darkness. But here's the dangerous part. That's when giving up looks tempting. When quitting feels justified. Don't fall for it, because that moment when you're weakest, that's exactly when your spark must grow stronger. Not bigger but steadier. Not louder but persistent. Right there, in the darkness, you plant, fan, and protect the flame. Fans of the flame, small actions that ignite you. You don't need grand gestures to reignite your fire. You need what I call fans, a few things that breathe life into your spark. Remember your first yes. Recall why you started. Look at old journal entries, images, or videos. Let them remind you that even then, you believed. Visual fuel. Write your reason on a note and stick it where you see it every morning. Your why must get attention, at least one daily reminder. Not today's big victory, but the small step. One page written, one call made, one early alarm. Each micro-action fans the flame forward. Treat yourself as a worthy quest when your spark is flickering. Celebrate small wins again. Reignite belief with simple progress. These aren't tokens, they're accelerants with tiny sparks each day. Your inner fire grows, and with growth, resilience returns. The price of the flame. Every fire comes with a cost, and your fire is no exception. The price: discomfort, sleepless nights, judged choices, more work, sacrifices, plateaus. But here's the thing. Your spark was never about ease. It's about purpose. And purpose demands discomfort, because comfort zones don't produce heroes. Invites limitations, so you can break them. Harvest pressure, because diamonds don't form without it. Know that your spark fees aren't punishments, they're investments in the life you're building. And every time you choose the growth cost, you'll reignite your flame. What fire looks like in action. Picture this: a parent who, exhausted from balancing work and family, wakes up before dawn to write the chapter that's always haunted them. A student who, after failing their first exam, decided not to quit college but to conquer one subject at a time. An entrepreneur who pitched dozens of investors and faced dozens of no's, but turned every rejection into a lesson and every lesson into a step forward. These people didn't wilt in the wind. They fanned their flames through grief, exhaustion, limitations, and doubt. Their fuel, the fire within, not the applause outside. When the fire roars as you stoke your spark, fire shifts. You start sleeping less, dreaming more. You don't wait for motivation, you wake up winging it, trusting the flame to guide you. You don't pause when it's hard, you pause for clarity and then lean in again. The fire won't burn brighter all the time, but it will burn steadier, and you become unstoppable. Not because the flame is massive, but because it's constant. Someday soon, you'll look back and realize you didn't just survive, you thrived. Because somewhere between pain and purpose, you chose to keep the flame alive every single day. Your fire's invitation now, right now. Answer: can I feel it? That ember in your core. If yes, commit to one fan. Write down your why. Speak it to yourself in the mirror. Take one step from your spark toward your next milestone. That step isn't small, it's everything. You didn't start to quit, you started to blaze. The fire within doesn't demand perfection, it demands persistence. Day 1, day 20, day 200. Every step fans, every choice nourishes, every moment matters. So keep standing, keep feeling, keep stoking your flame, because the fire within you is the one thing no one can ever take away. And the world needs that fire burning, unyielding, unstoppable. Failure. It's the scar we're taught to hide. Yet every triumph, every breakthrough, was seeded in failure soil. That dream you dreamt, It's held back by every time you didn't show up. That goal you want, it's shaped by all the times you stumbled. That vision, it's refined by every moment you failed. Failures aren't the end of the story there, the foundation beneath it. Redefined failure from the outside, it looks like you lost, but internally you gained clarity, you gained strength, you gained intelligence. What if failure isn't a setback but the universe's way of saying, not this way, try again, try stronger? Thomas Edison didn't invent the light bulb all at once. He learned 10,000 ways how not to create it. Yet he never saw them as mistakes. He said, I found 10,000 ways that didn't work. You failed. Good, you learned. You're one step closer. Fuel from failure. Instead of letting failure burn you out, burn fuel from it. Examine your failure. What did it whisper? What weakness did it expose? What lesson was waiting for you? Treat your failure like blacksmiths treat fire. Melt away your weaknesses and mold your next breakthrough. If you failed at launching your product, you didn't fall, you learned how to sharpen your pitch. You didn't break, you got resilient. Failure is your most honest teacher, showing you where to grow next. Embrace the comeback story. Every success story you've admired, it's populated with flops, faceplants, and no's. Think J.K. Rowling 12 times before Harry found a home. What if November's crash was preparing you for December's comeback? The next failure is only final if you let it be. But if you rise, if you learn, if you apply, then that failure becomes the launching pad. Build a fuel mindset. Fuel isn't found, it's created. You decide how to use your failure. Shift language. Replace I failed with I learned. I'm tested. I got feedback. Normalize failing. Believe failure is not shameful, it's foundational. Visualize success through scars. Imagine future you, stronger and wiser, carried by today's tough lessons. Turn every fall into your rise. Failure fellowship. Failures don't have to be private. Sharing your story can free it and fuel others. Tell your truth. When you share, you invite others to do the same. Build a network of failure heroes, people who failed, learned, rose, learn from each other's losses. Celebrate each other's comebacks, because when one rises, the entire community becomes stronger. Your failure is the bridge to someone else's breakthrough. Real talk. Failure hurts as failure stings. The shame, the voices, it's the resolve to move forward despite it. Let failure haunt you, but don't stay with it. Don't set up camp in regret. Acknowledge it. Cry if you need to, and then walk through it, not away from it. Fuel in action. Business pitch. Failed. Rewrite it. Get sharper. Go again. Failed. Test. Study smarter. Adapt. Pass the next one. Relationship fell apart. Grow from it. Build better love next time. The fuel is ready. Just ignite it with courage. Failure is not your defeat. It's your design. When you treat it as a roadblock, you stay stuck. When you treat it as fuel, you become unstoppable. Every failure you've had is propaganda designed to scare you, shut you down, keep you small. Don't buy it on. Instead, flip the script. I fail forward. Because the only way you truly lose is by staying down, never testing again. But when you rise stronger, smarter, and closer to the person you were meant to become. Everyone reaches a moment where quitting seems easier than continuing. The dream is too far, the mountain's too steep, the rejections pile up, the progress is too slow, and in the silence the voice creeps in. Just give up. No one would blame you. But here's the truth. The battle isn't outside you, it's within you. The real war is waged between your mind and your mission. This is the chapter where you take your power back. Quitting is a whisper before it becomes a habit. Most people don't quit overnight. They quit in whispers. I'll skip today. This isn't working anyway. Maybe it's not meant for me. It's subtle. It starts as exhaustion, then turns into avoidance. Before you know it, the dream is in the rearview mirror. Again. But when you develop a mind over quit mentality, you stop asking, can I keep going? And start telling yourself, I don't quit on me. Because your mind, it follows the voice. You feed it. You don't need motivation. You need mastery. Motivation is unreliable. It's emotional, fleeting, temperamental. But mastery is discipline. It's showing up even when your soul's tired and your hopes flickering. It's doing the work when you don't want to. The people you admire, they don't win because they always felt like it. They win because they trained their mind to keep showing up, no matter how it felt. That's what separates winners from watchers. Discipline over doubt, action over emotion, mind over emotion, mind over quit. Talk back to your inner quitter. That voice in your head that says, you're not enough. It's not a prophet, it's a parrot. Repeating old fears and borrowed beliefs. Your job. Talk back. Tell it, I've come too far. I don't quit. I evolve. Setbacks sharpen me. You weren't born with that self-doubt. You were conditioned into it. And now it's time to unlearn it. Your inner dialogue shapes your outer reality. Make your self-talk a weapon, not a wound. Remember why you started. Quitting feels tempting when your memory goes foggy. When you forget the hunger, the heartbreak, the reason you started. So pause, close your eyes, go back. Remember the first spark, the one that lit the fire inside you, the pain that pushed you, the vision that pulled you. Write your why on your mirror. Speak it out loud. Tattoo it on your heart if you must. Because your why is stronger than your weakness, and your purpose is louder than your excuses if you listen to it. Break the loop, interrupt the quit cycle. Quitting, it becomes easier each time you do it. It forms a loop, and loops become lifestyles. So how do you break it? Interrupt it. Change your environment. Go where progress is normalized. Change your language. Don't say if, say when. Change your inputs. Stop feeding yourself failure stories. Start flooding your mind with resilience. You don't need a perfect plan, you need a committed mind. Strength comes from staying. When it's hard, anyone can show up. When it's easy, when people are clapping, when everything flows. But the real champions, they show up in silence, in confusion, in fatigue, in doubt. They don't always sprint, but they always step, even if they crawl, because they know the reward isn't just at the finish line, it's in becoming the kind of person who didn't quit when it was hard. You can cry, you can fall, you can scream, but don't you dare quit. A future you depends on today. You close your eyes and picture the version of you who didn't give up. The one who stayed in the fight. That future you is watching. Today you, cheering, hoping, depending. So make today proud. Make it count. Don't trade that future for a temporary relief. Your destiny is waiting on the other side of don't quit. You will want to quit. That's normal. But what separates the remembered from the forgotten isn't talent, it's tenacity. It's waking up on day 89, tired, discouraged, overlooked, and still lacing up your shoes, still making the call, still showing up. You don't need to be the strongest. You just need to be the most committed, because winners aren't people who never failed. They're the ones who refuse to quit. So the next time you hear that voice say it's too late, answer back, no, I'm just getting started. Resistance is not your enemy. It's your mirror. It shows up when you try to grow. It fights back when you dare to rise. Every goal you set, every dream you chase, every version of you that wants more meets resistance. But here's the truth. No one tells you enough. The resistance is the path. The obstacle is not in the way. It is the way. And those who rise, rise through it, not around it. Resistance reveals who you're becoming. You can tell the size of your destiny by the size of your resistance. The bigger the dream, the bigger the struggle. And that's not punishment, that's preparation. Think about it. Muscles only grow under tension. Diamonds only form under pressure. Minds only sharpen through challenge. So when you feel resistance, don't run. Recognize it. It's not a sign you're failing. It's proof you're on the verge of something greater. Lean in. Let it mold you. You're not being tested. You're being tempered. Life isn't trying to break you. It's trying to build you. Every delay, every detour, every setback isn't a dead end. It's a detour with a purpose. You're being tempered like steel, refined by fire, hardened by experience. Every hard moment is forging a stronger version of you. So don't curse the resistance. Cooperate with it. Let it chisel the parts of you that were never meant to survive the next level. Because who you are today can't carry the weight of who you're becoming, but who you're becoming. They're being born right here, in this fight. Discomfort is the proof of progress. You will never grow in comfort. Read that again. You may feel good in the comfort zone. You may even feel in control, but you will never evolve there. Discomfort is a sign that you're on the edge of expansion. It's your soul being stretched, your beliefs being challenged, your limits being rewritten. So instead of asking, how do I avoid discomfort? Ask, what is it trying to teach me? Because the pain you're feeling, it's a teacher. The confusion, a lesson. The frustration, a signal. Grow through what you go through. Most people retreat, but you rise. Resistance breaks the average. It builds the exceptional. Most people meet resistance and quit. They tell themselves stories. It's not for me. Maybe it wasn't meant to be. It's too hard. But the people who rise, they rewrite the narrative. They feel the fear and act anyway. They stumble but get up. They lose but they don't leave, because they've made a decision, I will never give up. And when that becomes your core belief, the resistance that has no choice but to become your fuel. Nothing grows in a straight line. Progress is messy. Growth is crooked. Transformation is chaotic. There will be days when it feels like you're going backward. Days when all you do is fight just to stay in a place that's normal. That's real. But growth doesn't always look like winning. Sometimes it looks like enduring. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is not give up today. Because the truth is, it's not the speed, it's the consistency. It's not how loud you roar, it's how long you keep moving forward. And every step through resistance builds a foundation nothing can shake. Your resistance is someone else's inspiration. Someone is watching you right now. A sibling, a child, a friend, a stranger. They see you pushing. They see you struggling. They see you keep going anyway. And your story is becoming their strength. Your fight is someone else's blueprint. Your decision to keep rising through resistance is lighting the path for others who forgot they could. Don't underestimate the power of your persistence. You're not just surviving resistance, you're redefining what's possible. Rise doesn't mean you don't fall. It means you get back up to rise. Doesn't mean you don't get tired. It doesn't mean you don't cry or break or doubt. It means when all of that hits, you don't stay down. You rise with tear-streaked cheeks, with shaky hands, with trembling faith. But you rise again and again and again. Because giving up is not in your blood. And staying stuck is not your story. You weren't built to break. You were built to bend, adapt, transform, and rise. Resistance isn't here to stop you. It's here to shape you. It's carving you into someone who doesn't flinch when things get hard. Someone who doesn't fold under pressure. Someone who looks adversity in the face and says, "This is where I rise." So the next time life hits harder than you expected, when the weight feels unbearable, when progress feels invisible, remember this: your breakthrough lives inside your resistance. And those who refuse to quit rise. You didn't start this journey for nothing. There was a spark inside you, a moment when your heart said, "I want more." Maybe no one else saw it. Maybe they laughed. Maybe they said you were too late, too small, too inexperienced, but you didn't listen, because there was a fire. And even when it was just a flicker, it was yours. But here's the hard part. Starting is easy. Staying lit is the real war. The flame will flicker. That's normal. The fire won't always roar. Some days it will feel like embers, like ashes. That doesn't mean you've lost your drive. It means your human motivation isn't constant, but the fire, the purpose, it's still there, buried under the weight of routine, stress, setbacks. You don't wait for the flame to grow. You feed it. Every time you show up when it's hard, you add fuel. Every time you say just one more step, you breathe life into it. Protect the fire from dream killers. Not everyone will understand your fire. And they don't have to, but you do. Some people will try to pour water on it, with their doubts, with their fears, with their bitterness that they gave up. So you should too. Protect your fire. Don't let small minds blow out big dreams. Be ruthless about your energy. Be choosy with your circle. Keep the people who fan your flame, not those who smother it. Your dream deserves an environment where it can burn brighter. Routine is the wood that keeps the fire alive. Passion fades without practice. Emotion burns out without structure. That's why the most passionate people aren't always the most successful, but the most consistent people are. Your routine is what keeps the fire going when the storms hit. Discipline is fireproof. So build a routine that matches your mission. Don't leave your dream up to chance. Don't hope for motivation. Create systems that move you forward even on your darkest days. Because emotion may spark the fire, but structure keeps it alive. Fan the flames with purpose. Fire without direction can destroy, but fire with purpose, it builds, it drives, it transforms. When you feel the flame dimming, come back to your why. Why did you start? Who are you doing this for? What's the bigger vision? Put that in front of your face daily, on your mirror, your lock screen, your journal. Let it burn so clearly in your mind that even on your worst days, you remember. This is bigger than the pain. Rest is not quitting, it's rebuilding. Every fire needs oxygen. Every soul needs space. Burnout happens when you confuse rest with weakness. But resting is not quitting, it's recovering. So you can keep climbing. So breathe, recharge, recenter, then come back to the fire stronger, clearer, and more dangerous than ever. Share the fire. Want to make your flame indestructible. Use it to light others, lift someone else up, teach someone younger, encourage a stranger, inspire your circle. Because when your dream becomes part of something greater than you, the fire turns into a force. One candle can light 1,000 and never burn out. You started with a spark. You've come through storms, setbacks, and self-doubt, but the fire still burns, so don't let it go out now. You are the keeper of your flame. Tend to it, feed it, protect it, share it, and when it's cold, when you feel alone, when no one claps and nothing works, remember this: you don't need permission to burn bright. You just need the courage to keep the fire burning. The difference between winning and quitting, it's not always talent or luck or even timing. It's one more day, one more rep, one more call, one more deep breath when everything inside you says, "I can't." The power of one more is where greatness lives and where most people stop. One more is a mindset. It's not about doing everything. It's about doing the next thing, the hard thing, the thing you said you couldn't do, and doing it anyway. Just one more is how you build habits. Just one more is how you defy odds. Just one more is how you silence that voice in your head saying you'll never make it. Winners don't always feel strong, but they choose one more even when they feel weak. Every great comeback started with one more step. History doesn't remember those who almost did. Remembers those who pushed one more step when they had nothing left. Think of every underdog story, every Olympic gold, every impossible dream come true. It wasn't magic, it was mindset. They stayed in the ring longer, they stayed in the fights deeper, they stayed in the game even when the crowd had left. And that's where breakthroughs happen, in the last inch of your effort. One more isn't small, it's sacred to most people. One more sounds minor, but when you stack it daily, it becomes unstoppable. One more workout turns into transformation. One more late night becomes a finished book. One more rejection leads to the yes that changes your life. Your one more today creates your momentum tomorrow. And once you start winning the little battles, the big ones don't stand a chance. Your body will say stop, your mind has to say go. There will come a point where your muscles scream. Your willpower feels shot, your energy's gone. That's when your mind steps in and takes the lead. That's where you say, I can do one more. Not because you feel like it, but because you've trained your spirit to rise when the body wants to fall. That's grit. That's inner fire. That's unshakable power. One more makes you legendary. Legends are built in overtime, in extra reps, in late nights, in moments where no one is watching. They don't win because they're special. They win because when others stop, they keep going. If you want to become someone the world remembers, do what the world won't. One more. When you want to quit, do one more first before you walk away, before you throw it all in. Before you say, I'm done. Give it one more. If it still doesn't work, fine, at least you'll know you didn't give up early. But chances are that one more is exactly where the miracle lives. One more breath, one more step, one more try. This is the heartbeat of those who rise, of those who refuse to fold, of those who make history in silence, with one more push. So the next time you're tired, alone, and tempted to stop, look at your dream and say, you're worth one more, because that's all it takes to turn the impossible into inevitable. Walked through struggle. You've stared down fear. You've been broken, bent, bruised, but never beaten, because something in you refuses to fold. And that something, it's not luck, it's not magic, it's will. You've learned that greatness isn't found in ease, it's built in resistance. It's carved in late nights, in silent battles, in the decision to try again when quitting is easier. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to keep going. One more step, one more breath, one more fight. This isn't the end of your story. It's just the part where you decide, I will never give up.